Hi, I'm Jo, and I'm fucking laughing, and this is dumb. Okay. Hi, I'm Jo. Welcome to my universe. Now that I live in Portugal, I will also share some of the funny things that it took to get here. That didn't feel so funny at the time because it was really rough. But now the reason why we didn't fly out of Egan is because we decided to bring our car. We drove to New York in order to have it shipped overseas. That's where the port is. The Waze app asked me way back, like I think I was in Ohio at the time, if I wanted to take one route instead of going through the toll. And I said yes. Well, apparently, just by saying yes to that one time, it turned the feature on avoid tollways for the whole trip. So we took the long way, which on one hand was really cool because we took the scenic route and it was amazing. It was gorgeous. Like Ohio is a beautiful state, and Pennsylvania, oh, I was so happy to see how gorgeous that state is. When we got into New York City, here's the funny part, that avoid toll feature was on, unbeknownst to us.
In half a mile, use the right lane to turn right, then turn right.
Just to get from one point to another point in New York City, we ended up driving through so many different boroughs. I feel like in a couple of hours, we had an entire road trip's worth of New York City. It's almost as if we saw more of New York City than most tourists do in a week. We saw it in a few hours. Like it was like we got to see Chinatown, we got to see Long Island, we got to see Queens. I mean, it was just like everything. New York City, in New York City traffic, that sucks. Of course, we're both like just at each other's throats, just fighting like you wouldn't believe the whole time because we're so stressed out about it. Like my spouse isn't used to driving in New York City traffic. Obviously, we've never been there before. I'm freaking out because he's getting in situations where he's basically like breaking laws driving, and I'm freaking out because of it. So I'm yelling at him, he's yelling back. Meanwhile, I'm still taking pictures because I'm still noticing all these amazing things out the window. So we're like, and I'm like, hang on, click, gorgeous photo. Anyway, so that was the experience in New York. It was a rough trip for us to get here. My spouse and I decided that we were going to treat ourselves to business class seats because it was an overseas flight and we knew it was going to be very difficult. With our dog, we have a large dog named Loki, and we just knew it wasn't going to be fun. It's not like he's a little dog that we can have in a bag on our seats with us. So that is something that we knew that by the time we got on the plane, and we did, we knew that we were going to really need to just have ample seat space and stuff. We booked through SATA Azores Airlines, and our experience was wonderful. They, the business class seats, you get the executive lounge privilege with it, and that was really necessary for us because our trip with the dog and what we had to go through to get on the plane even was so rough that by the time we had a few minutes before boarding, it was like, oh my God, sitting down and resting for a second felt so good. So, flying with our dog was extremely difficult, which ended up being very funny. What happened is we got our dog there. We were told by customer service of Azores that we could use the soft-sided dog carrier that we had. And we spent quite a bit of money on this because we wanted Loki to be as comfortable as possible for the trip, because we knew it would be hard for him having to be in the cargo hold due to his size. So it was approved by customer service online. And then when we actually arrived at JFK, check-in agents, let us know that it's not possible for us to use a soft-sided dog carrier in the cargo hold. So while at the airport, and we were only having so much time before boarding, I actually had to go to a Walmart, a Walmart in Long Island. It was so funny. In order to go and buy a hard-sided kennel. So I'm freaking out. It was a total rush, but I was kind of laughing at the same time because I realized how funny the situation. It was just ridiculous. So I'm in a cab. My husband stayed behind, waiting at the check-in counter with our dog, who's also freaking out, mind you, because he doesn't want to be in a kennel. I got to Walmart, and unfortunately, they didn't have anything that was put together. So I had to buy basically a hard kennel kit and then bring it back to the airport where my spouse was putting it together right there in front of all the other people standing in line waiting to be checked in. And at that point, like, both of us were just drenched in sweat. Like, we didn't even care anymore about our appearances or how we looked to other people. We were just like, fuck it. Whatever we have to do to get the dog and us on the plane on time. We're sitting on the floor freaking out. We're kind of fighting with each other a little bit too, because we're so stressed. It's like each of us kind of saw each other getting in each other's way of whatever task we had to do to get things moving along. But we ended up getting on the plane, obviously, because here I am. I think it is much easier as far as the actual flight goes for people who have small lap-sized dogs, because you're allowed to bring them on the plane with you. Of course, you have to have pre-approval. It's difficult in the US to get their pet passport because Portugal has certain rules where you have to have the last exam, physical exam for the dog within a certain number of days of your arrival date. We had a lot of troubles trying to get the appointment at the right time. I had results from the vet sent to Department of something or another. I can't even remember. Pet and agriculture, whatever. I can't remember. For like a representative there to do their official stamp and signing on the documents. And I had to have it sent to my hotel in New York for me to pick up when we arrived there. Now, the flight itself was wonderful, but changing planes was not fun because we had to get our dog. I mean, I'm like almost getting stressed thinking about it again, but we had to get our dog and then go through this whole thing where I didn't know, because online I saw that you had so many days to bring your dog to a vet after your arrival. That is not true. So let it be known, if anybody is bringing their dog, to have the knowledge that when there, you bring it to their vet that they have on site at the airport, but that is going to be part of your changing planes experience, okay? So you bring your pet passport, you bring your pet, and then the vet that is there, and it wasn't a lot of money. I can't remember. It was like maybe 30 or 40 euros or something, maybe even less. And they're available right then and there. You need to book an appointment ahead of time because we did not have an appointment they had to, in Madeira, get on the phone so that she could tell her colleague at the Lisbon airport that she was unable to look at our dog because we don't have an appointment. So she, on our behalf, made the appointment with the vet at the Lisbon airport. The flight itself was wonderful. I would highly recommend the airline myself because it was $1,200 one way for each of us. It flew us to Madeira in the Azores Islands grouping, about an hour and a half flight outside of Lisbon. And that's a beautiful area. I'd like to go back when I actually have time to visit someday because we were just transferring from one plane to another and we don't have any time to really see anything except for what was surrounding us on the tarmac. But what we did see was gorgeous. Yeah, we got to Lisbon. The airport's beautiful there. It was difficult for us there as well. We had to go to one area to pick up our pet, Loki, that was different than the regular baggage claim area. So that kind of ended up being a mess too. And again, we're trying to navigate this huge airport and find these different areas. We're at each other's throats. The spouse isn't listening to me anymore, that type of thing. Like I can see we're supposed to go this way and I tell him and he thinks we're supposed to go this way, those kind of fights. So that was harrowing, but finally we get all of us into a taxi and we go to the Marriott Bonvoy in Lisbon. Beautiful hotel, absolutely gorgeous hotel. That place is amazing. I love it there. That was wonderful. I treated us to an executive room because this was a move of our lifetime. With that, we had lounge privileges. And that was awesome. With that, like we were able to go down and have breakfast for free every morning. At the Marriott Bonvoy, you're able to go to the actual executive lounge itself. The restaurant that is down on the lower level is very large. It looks out to their courtyard with a pool area. There's palm trees everywhere. There's a large pool. There are tables outside that you can eat at. It's just absolutely beautiful. The lounge, floor to ceiling windows, and it's big and open and airy, and you have table service. There's a big brunch buffet, but you can also still order to your table, but all of it is included in the price with your room for the executive lounge. Otherwise, somebody would pay for that if you booked a regular nice room there. I felt that it was worth paying the little extra. It was like our room, I want to say maybe a little under $200 per day in November. They are amazing. I totally recommend the Marriott Bonvoy Hotel. So beautiful. They're on the main level. There is a large bar. In addition to the executive lounge, there's a gift shop. They have a separate shop for like necessities where you can, go in and buy like, toothpaste and all that kind of neat stuff, but also some gift shoppy type of things. But at 24/7, you're able to go down and buy sodas, water, wine, beer, whatever for your room. So that was nice to have on site for us because that was our first experience being in Portugal, and I think it was a really good way to ease us in to being there.